Hello and welcome again to Chris's Caribbean Delights. And today we are talking about pork and the Chinese New Year. The Chinese New Year is right around the corner. It's this year it's the year of the rabbit. This is 2023, and it's on the 22nd of January, which is today. I think it's the 11th. But I want to bring you some dishes that you can do at home for that festivity if you care to, because lots of people celebrate it. We go to Chinatown. We'll go to Chinatown and get the wonderful roast duck and the roast pork and everything else. And but you can do that at home. You invite a few friends and celebrate. You have a few drinks and celebrate. Now, I'm doing a Char Siu Pork, which is a barbecue pork, a Chinese barbecue pork. If you know, when you go to Chinatown and you get that nice pork, roasted pork, succulent and juicy, and it has that red tint on it. Yeah, we all love that. So we're gonna do that tonight. First, we need some pork. But what I'm using today, I'm using a pork shoulder. I'm using the pork shoulder. It's bone. I took the bones out. I cut it into some semi-long and cut it with the grain, and so that, because when it's finished cooking, you want to cut it against the grain. So that's what I did, and I have 4 or 5 pieces here, which I'm going to use, which I'm going to marinate, and has to marinate for about 24 hours. So now the marinade, the ingredients that we're going to use for the marinade, let's introduce those at this time, so that we can put that marinade together and get it on the pork and put it away. And 24 hours later, we're going to be roasting some pork. Okay, so let's go to those ingredients for the marinade. First of all, we're going to take care of the red tint that the pork usually would have. And that comes from a red bean curd, which has been fermented, a fermented bean curd. And it's whatever they use to ferment it has that red color. And that's how you get that tint in there, that red tint. So we'll take out a few of these. And you can get this online, or you can get it at an Asian supermarket. And if you want to know what are you going to do with the rest of it, I mean, there's several recipes which you can use them in. I'll probably do a few more recipes that includes the bean paste, so that you'll be able to use it up, you know, in the event you decide to buy it and try it. Okay, next we're gonna go with some Chinese soy sauce. We're gonna go about it with a tablespoon of Chinese soy sauce. That's nice and dark. It's a very dark soy sauce. And the ABC sweet soy. The ABC sweet soy. We're going to do a tablespoon of that also. Hoisin. Hoisin sauce is like a barbecue sauce, a Chinese barbecue sauce. It's sweet, tangy, and it's very good. It's being used in a lot of stuff these days. You can use it on anything, actually. Chicken, pork, your stews. So we're going to use some of that, some hoisin, about a tablespoon of hoisin. And an oyster flavored sauce also. That's to give it that unique oyster kind of flavor, like if you're going to do like a fish sauce kind of thing. But all these flavors are going to you know, combine and become that wonderful sauce, that wonderful marinade that you're going to use. We're going to crush these bean curds. The bean curds, it has a kind of, it's an umami kind of flavor, and an umami kind of flavor. Get some black pepper or white pepper in there. A little bit of salt. And we're gonna get some pepper flakes, and we're gonna get some pepper flakes just to give it some more heat, you know. Give it a nice little heat. Yeah, some Caribbean heat. Okay. So I've added the pepper flakes, and I'm going to add some fresh garlic in here. You want it to be well seasoned, you know. You want it to taste wonderful when it gets out of the marinade. So I'm going to put like 3 or 4. Oh, I got 2 more here, little ones. So, try to get all that garlic in there. So take a spoon out of there. And there's one other ingredient which I would add in here. Which is a Char Siu seasoning mix. The Char Siu seasoning mix. It gives it that nice red, enhances the color actually. Just enhances the color, and because this seasoning of itself has that red tint to it. So we're going to use about a tablespoon of that in there, so we can make sure we get that color properly. Some places use red food coloring and all that. Yeah, I prefer to go with the natural stuff. If I don't have my Char Siu or my bean curd, I prefer to go with beets. You know, go natural. Get the beets. You can grate the beets and squeeze the juice out, and you can get that color right there. So that's our marinade. So we're gonna get our pork, and we're gonna pour this marinade onto the pork, and just make sure it's rubbed in properly. Okay, so I gloved up. So now that I have the marinade all set, just make sure it's all covered in the marinade. And we have our Ziploc bag here. We place our pork in the Ziploc bag. pour the rest of the marinade in here. Just make sure all the air is out of here. Get all the air out, and then you ziplock your bag. Rub it around a little. And 24 hours. We'll leave it in the refrigerator for 24 hours, and we'll be back. So here I just took my pork out of the marinade and I dried it off. This is for the Chinese barbecue, pork, the Char Siu pork. I had soaked it overnight, and in the marinade, I took it out, just took it out of the marinade, dried it off, and then put it on a rack. I'm going to pour some water under here onto the foil, just to make it not smoke, because once you start basting, the drippings are going to burn, you know, and give you a smoky, you know, make a mess and in the kitchen. Anyway, so we pour some water in there. That's going to stop it from burning and smoking, and it would also steam. It would also give the pork some steam, so that it will cook. You know, moist. It will be moist. So let's get this in the oven at 400 for the first 20 minutes. We're going to do 20 minutes, and then we'll take it out. We'll flip it over and do another 20 minutes, and then after that we're going to start basting, and basting with the glaze that I'm going to prepare right now. So let's get this in the oven for its first 20-minute run. For our glaze, we're going to, I have a base of 2 tablespoons of honey in there. I'm going to use a tablespoon of oyster sauce. 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce. 1 tablespoon of hoisin. And this is the Char Siu seasoning, which gives it that color. We're going to put that in there. Put about 2 tablespoons of that in there. And we'll give this a mix, give this a stir. Stir that together. And there's I have some barbecue sauce, some Chinese barbecue sauce, which I'll also put a tablespoon of that in there. I just put 2 teaspoons of the barbecue sauce in there. Need a little bit of rice wine vinegar. Three tablespoons of red wine. That's perfect. So this is the glaze that we're going to be glazing our pork with. So I'll be back once we start glazing. So I went broil, and we're going to do it 485, and just gets a nice crust on there. And let's get a little more caramelization on the top. So let's go back into the oven, 485 on the broil. And you put it on the second shelf, the second to top shelf. The second from the top, just put it on there and give it about 10 minutes. And then flip it another 10 minutes and we're done. Because it already has the internal temperature. So we just need to crisp it up a little. Just get a little char on the top there. So after 15 minutes of broiler action, I flipped it a couple of times and I basted it and stuff and left it on the broiler, onto the broiler. Now we're gonna let it rest before we take it out and make that cut. So once again, thank you for watching, and we'll see the final result in a minute. So after our barbecue, our Chinese barbecue pork has been rested for a while, we'll just cut into it and see that wonderful internal view, you should say. See, it's nice and lean and cooked. Beautiful, beautiful. And at this point, you can still glaze it with a little more of that of the glaze. Once it's out here, we'll glaze it. Just glaze it again once more. Oh, awesome! I can't wait. Oh boy. The 5 spices there. All these beautiful ingredients. The glaze is prominent. Oh, the honey glaze. Now, the Chinese barbecue pork. I did a boneless piece. The shoulder, the boneless barbecue shoulder. So, there we go. Let's do a taste test.